What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it!
Eat you!
I can carve through armor!
Where are you going?
No further!
Not in your dreams! Let me help!
All ends everlasting darkness! Negative date! Resonate with the earth! Demon Dynamite! That spot!
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword, and with my gun.
Shield.
I can carve through armor! Done for. Demon Dragon! Now I'm in the group! Right. It's gonna be more than that. Demon Fang! All finish you here and now! Demon Fang! Can't get out of this!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield is for. Get behind me.
Got it! Leave it to you! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here, let me help. First aid! Art expert, come and
Here we
go!
go! Rotating
Ignite!
I'll heal you all!
Resonate with the earth! Carve through armor! Stalagmite!
Let the marksman handle this!
Bathed in blood! Demon Fang! Bloody holiday!
Amazing. This is some punishment.
Stay away from my friend! Demon
Back from death to this! A new lease on
I'll
life!
take you all on! Demon Fang!
I'm on a roll now!
Pain. Great.
Far enough! Demon! Let's go, Demon Fang! Here you go! Try it! Carve through! So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint.
Demon Fang!
Nope, that'd be silly.
Take this! Bloody hollow! No further! Demon Fang!
Healing circle!
Demon Fang! Here you go! I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough.
Yes, ma'am! Demon Fang!
Searing flame! Reload! Radiant pierce!
I'm on it!
Back into
Power
the
hard! Do it!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
I'll heal you all! Healing circle!
I really owe you one.
Sorry.
Here come more.
I didn't want to
Just
put
have
you
to
out.
keep what our friends for if we can.
The enemy heals art too.
You'll soon see about that!
Demon, ready to go! This one's all mine! You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang!
Where are you going? Do it!
Demon Fang! Try harder! Try harder!
Let me help.
You can't take this! Time for one more!
Not in your dreams!
Far enough! First strike!
It's in your hands now.
Radiant
You'll
pierce!
pay for that!
I'll bring you back from death to this!
Eagle Assault! I'm on a roll now! Demon Fang!
Here to heal us!
Eat this! They smite me like a
Rising Wyvern!
Back into the fray!
execution!
Ready!
Another incantation ruined!
Try harder!
This has a most peculiar taste.
Reinforcements incoming! Not a problem!
Demon Fang!
Inspiration!
This one's mine!
Eat dirt! Demon Fang!
I'll heal you all!
Rising Wyvern!
Healing Can't be happening.
Demon Fang!
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
Not in your dreams! Ready!
Demon Fang!
I can't lose!
I'm on! Demon Fang! You're done!
Oh, now you're talking! Roll now!
Demon Fang!
Eagle assault!
Demon Fang!
I'll finish you here and now!
Demon Fang!
Here's a healing art!
Demon Fang!
I've used too much. Lost my focus.
Don't mind if I do!
It's too much! No! Can't end here! Forget.
Art shield! Lightning!
Demon Fang!
Don't mind if I do!
The fluidity of your movement is simply incredible.
Demon Fang!
Tornado drive!
Lightning! I'm out of ammo! Back into the fray! Annihilation! Magnificent!
Demon Fang!
I can't lose!
The flame inside me
Radiant
yearns
here!
to be let free!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Pride was my downfall.
Demon Fang!
Hasten! No, it won't end like this!
Radiant light!
Demon Fang!
Regeneration!
Not today!
Regenerate!
Demon Fang!
It's in your hands. Anything in armor is all mine!
Demon Fang!
Denied!
I can't lose!
Inspiration!
Here goes!
One more!
Demon Fang!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Don't mind if I do!
Demon Fang!
Inspiration!
Ready to go!
Let you all down.
You picked the wrong fight! Demon
I'll
Fang!
heal you all!
Rising Wyvern!
Healing circle!
Demon Fang!
I'll bring you it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix circle! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Ready! Resuscitation!
Benediction light. Inspiration! Time for one more. Shine. Radiant light.
Try harder!
Boost of regeneration.
Will this help?
Now or never.
I'll heal you all!
Fang!
Eagle assault. Now I'm in the
Healing
groove.
circle!
Might with
This
blood
one's
and
mine!
flame. I'm grateful. In a bind.
Steer it! I'm out of it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Watch and weep!
This one's all mine!
Don't mind if I do!
Rip and tear.
Demon Fang!
Do it!
Suddenly! In an instant! Impact Cross!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't We won't retreat, not yet!
Whatever you do, just please stay safe. Healing circle!
Okay, here I
How
go!
are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just
Elton!
watch and learn! That's enough! Go back down! Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go. I can feel my power growing!
Hey, is that it over there?
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renin. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renin homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Alma too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her thorns. Xion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Xion? Where'd Xion go? How could she just go off on her own? Xion. Xion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself,
I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
but that's too much. It's way too much. When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end.
I believe.
As a friend. Still.
No,
We have so...
so weird.
Well,
Yeah,
right. Let's return...
So, but why?
As for...
You know, I've noticed since we've met that
Can you blame me? When one... Especially...
Dohali.
I am... As for...
Right.
How you hold?
Who, me?
Yes,
Oh, that?
compared to what? Still, Shion does.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm being. She real.
I just... Those thorns...
You can say I have.
Agreed.
Did you know?
You mean about
Yeah, it's like a...
you and me?
You?
That's what
At least...
I don't think...
Yeah.
I know.
Hey,
Zephyr.
I guess...
Law.
Sorry. We'll need... probably...
Yeah. Can't sleep.
After every...
Fair enough.
Shion, I thought I just... But
I know.
she was...
I'm sure.
You...
Yeah, you were a good...
Yeah, when you... But over time... No, I think...
Rinwell. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to as much as I try to.
You're not the only...
Hey, do you remember the first time?
No? When was...
That's okay. It came so naturally. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just because until that moment, I'd only seen you. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword. And to... But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me... It didn't matter that we were Renans. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think I didn't want to die and lose you all.
Shion.
But then, I realized... Don't worry, it's okay. I've met too many people along the way who so I'll fight. For Dana, I don't know how we're going to...
It's going to be but I swear I'll be there with you.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia?
Yeah.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
La, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it.
Not sure.
Okay, people. We have... And then, we need... All right?
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board.
Good idea. Think you'll be all right with it?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say...
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Is something wrong?
No.
You mean...
I am doesn't that...
Well, it is, but I
see.
Dohalim.
Come back and...
We'll be good.
This must be...
Let's just... They call...
You mean...
That's right. Day in. The look... Summit. I thought they... Is it any... Sure, that's when it...
I'm so... You say it... That's exact... Why should... It's that... This struck... If we're due...
A world...
Not... Now I see...
A vic...
You...
We can...
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So,
Hey!
What's got...
only that he's afraid of fly.
Hey! I just...
It's a star.
Well, maybe...
Guys...
Oh,
Hard to...
You okay?
Actually, now
Glad to hear. That device...
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough.
It's a healing pod. It
Oh, you don't... Alphen?
No, I... Naori...
So,
Yes.
That's
What do you...
with the Alphen.
Of course.
Even in that, I'll always... The world, if I've learned, and the one...
Well...
I know.
Kisara...
Probably...
Is everyone...
Before we do...
Kisara has a...
I'd like to hear more.
Very well. Of course, it's social...
Enough to do...
They can be honed. As a result...
Those capable... Still.
Thanks for the...
Come on, you've seen her skill with Astro.
On arts alone. No, it's...
Gee.
Wait a sec.
I am no...
Of course, as if such
So this...
I would wager chances are...
If the Renaissance...
That red...
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy.
If there are... There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegus's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this, and if we're lucky...
There is an area
Forbidden?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegus would have required an immense...
And you think that source might have been the Renaissance?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renaissance being used in... Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparation... The Renaissance hiding something...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of...
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think...
There's only one way...
Shion's right.
All right. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the red...
And don't forget about finding...
Let's leave the...
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of... Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. We have no choice but do my eyes deceive me? Could I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty.
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. The Ilkaris house has produced...
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great... I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch, I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red.
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like...
Yeah. What about down on Dana during...
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise.
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to...
Oh, yes.
I was hoping...
I suppose the sub... I daren't I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe...
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you...
But of course. I thought maybe it was a...
It's worth invest. I shall go and...
You'd really...
Our lot in...
Oh, why yes.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you...
No one has the faintest...
You'd think... Not to this...
Given
Yeah, everything that... Nothing
The Sovereign? There is...
The Sovereign.
Without the... That's a...
The points come to think of...
No.
Neither have...
Hold up.
Assuming what...
But what about...
Not if the
But what if some...
I'm begin... But Sovereign...
Whoever wins the crown thereafter. As for how Volron...
3 centuries ago... 300... That's not the...
Do you think Vol...
I can't say for...
But that would mean... We never did see Volron. Is a new
Wait a second. The ceremony...
There's something else this...
Questions.
If the Forbidden Zone...
Then it's decided. That's what...
One of the citizens... Let's go find it!
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what... I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld. And all their lords...
But Dohalim was a lord.
Only current acting lords have power. Renan's...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do...
I wonder what they'd think if they were here. Alsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day...
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here.
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the... Every end luck...
Yeah!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective. So even...
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Pardon me.
Guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right.
Ridiculous.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Gannett Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about
Yeah,
They must have...
Renans live, but they're loyal.
That's what makes them...
Right.
guess that makes
So, Alphen,
Yeah, Falstaff and the others. They all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
yeah, but still, just because
I know. But at this... So I get...
you're saying even if they...
Renwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a dead, I think that...
Shion and Do
And I'm going to...
What's this thing? There's something I just...
what is it?
The crown contest itself is always... In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the...
Yeah, that makes...
So...
Hanfricht Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if mem...
So then this Han-freaked whatchamacallem.
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually...
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually...
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland.
And that never...
A new... In other words...
True, but...
You and me both.
With any luck.
No use standing...
Do?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that, but let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7...
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim! What the hell are you...
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings...
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even... You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize.
Is it true?
Each of us have
Before...
the mistakes I'm...
Did you mean what you...
She has more...
But you can't just...
Whatever happened, I have no intent. Besides,
Dohalim!
forgive me. Some things are...
What's this thing?
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
It is...
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, Avakir,
Tarnigan.
he was once my dear... Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses entranced by her playing. It was a time...
A friendship
I suppose it's...
I would have. Once. Now. Besides...
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following... And even then, Tarnigan had... But fate was not so...
What happened?
Tarnigan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, but he was desperate and low on options. And he couldn't stand the thought of...
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved. And by her friend's hand, no less.
So instead you let her go on hating you. So she could use that hate as a...
That's not the same as running away, though.
As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The damn...
You've saved so many... You saved me. So...
Frank as always, but... I shall do my...
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's important to...
I didn't realize...
Sometimes...
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe. But I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely... Yup. Offer their assistance.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elven Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they've got one.
Rising water!
Not in your dreams!
Denied! To bring you down?
Now in the groove! Demon Fang!
No further.
Demon Fang! We're not finished!
Do it!
Dohalim! In an instant! Impact Cross! Blow him down!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as and yet, traditionally,
They're glazed over.
I've never seen anything like.
Maybe someone doesn't...
What, with the red woman? This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Not in your dreams! These ones can run rings around us! I'm ready! I never miss!
I'm sorry.
Too fast!
Do it!
In an instant! Impact block! Demon Fang! Can you take it? Talon Hurricane! Flame inside me! You're be let free! I'm on it! Burn in hell! Demon Fang! Eat this! First strike! Talon Storm! Elusive Deity! Do it! Carve! I'll finish you here and now! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Flame of Fury!
Ready to go! Far enough!
Here's evil!
I'm on Demon! Talon Hurricane!
Freeze Lancer!
Take this! Eagle
Here
Fly!
goes!
Talon Storm! Demon Fang!
Lunar Corruption!
I'm ready! River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Annihilation!
Kill it!
Not in your dreams! Do it!
Eagle!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Step back! This one's all law!
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Freaking does it! Burn in hell! That's enough!
I think I'll pass on the sky is mine!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Can you take it?
That'll bring you down. Anything normal.
Risen King! Explosive ring! I can carve through armor! Try harder!
By the power of water.
In a bind? Big blast! Demon Fang! Try this! I'll tear you apart! Explosive ring! Thanks! I'm on a roll now! Here's the evil! Far enough! Don't suffer! Demon Fang! I'll finish you here and now!
Ready!
Elusive Deity! Hurricane! Glimmer Dragon!
Freeze Lancer!
Ignite! Talon Hurricane! Demon Fang! Risen King! Regeneration! Regenerate! Pieces! Attack!
Lunar
I owe you one!
Corruption!
Rising Rider! Mirage! I'm on it!
Here's a healing
Try this! See what happened there as you crossed. Shouldn't have done that. Demon Fang! Take this!
Will this help?
Eagle Fly! Now I
I never miss!
This is some punishment.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'll bring you back from death to bed.
It's on! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Watch this! Explosive ray! Eagle Fly! Demon Fang!
Ready to ride.
Now you see what I can do! I really owe you all art for being interrupted. Explosive ray! Crumble! Demon Fang! Explosive ray! Regenerate! Demon Fang! I'm on it!
Not in your dreams!
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic fission!
imbue this vanquished soul with love. Reach your gift. Shine, radiant light. Regeneration.
Demon Fang!
Don't suffer in silence.
Dragon Shout!
Allow me to help.
This one's mine!
Where are you going?
Rolling Snap! That
Take
freaking does
this.
it! Demon Fang! Try this! Talon Storm! Explosive Ring!
Everlasting shot.
Healing
Demon
circle!
Fang!
Radiant glow!
Bathed in blood. I really
you
want
apart!
Corruption!
Eat dirt! Talon Storm!
Bloody
Demon
shattering
Fang!
up! I'm ready.
Attack time! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade.
We're still standing. Barely.
Hey, look at that enemy. It's shining.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I can carve through armor!
Denied!
Magna Ray!
Demon Fang! Take down their defenses! I see one, eh?
Here goes! There's evil! Not in your dreams!
Eagle Fly!
Freeze Laser!
In the groove. Easy and snarl to me. Yeah. And its armor's too strong.
Demon Fang! Be my guest! Demon Fang!
Eagle of Lunar Corruption! By the power of
Astral Curse.
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
Demon Fang!
Dance on the wind.
Here, let me help. Here's a healing arc!
Take this.
Demon Fang! Try this!
Take this.
Do it! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Here's a healing
Leave the
arc!
charges to me.
That'll bring you down!
Armor won't save you.
Right shield? Try that!
Annihilation!
I owe you one. Demon Fang!
Annihilation!
Now we're never.
Eagle Assault!
Demon Fang!
Deity.
Confiscated!
In a bind.
Demon Fang!
Do it!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade.
Radiant light!
Demon Fang! Dragon
Out
Shout!
of ammo! Back into the fray!
Demon Fang!
Release. On your knees.
Dance! You picked the mark!
I need to be stronger.
Gotta break through! You got...
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Try harder!
I'll smash you.
Lancer!
Demon Fang!
Showdown between blade and fist.
Now you'll learn! Demon Fang!
Let us take resonate with the earth.
I can do this! Not in your dreams!
Rending you apart.
Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Dragon Shout!
I
Demon
really owe
Fang!
you one.
I'm ready!
I'm on it!
Elusive deity.
All mine!
Here!
Eat dirt! Demon Fang! Try this!
I'm ready.
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone!
Rending you up. Bloody howling. On your knees.
Eat this!
No further.
Demon Fang! Try this!
Begin.
Explosive Ring!
Do it!
Phoenix Descent! Flashing Fang!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone? This one will be difficult to predict.
Now you see what I can do!
Dragon Demon Fang!
Watch this!
Allow me to help.
Eagle Assault!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Now I'm real mad!
I'll face it.
Rising Water! Watch this!
Demon Fang! Ignite!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Demon Fang!
Can't get out of this!
Far enough!
Now
Try harder! Demon Fang!
Eagle Assault!
Rising Water! Try harder! Mirage! Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
I can carve through armor!
Where are you going?
I really owe one. I'm on a roll now! River Dragon!
You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang!
Watch this! Explosive Ray! Eagle Fly! Demon
Fang!
Eagle Ray! Watch it! No further!
Demon Fang!
These fists have got your name on them!
Demon Fang!
Radiant Light! Full set regeneration! Regenerate!
Demon Fang!
I'm just getting started!
Explosive
Allow me
Ray!
to help you. Begin! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Demon Fang!
Denied! Take
I can't heal you forever.
Another incantation ruined.
Armor won't save you!
Yours to be let free! Burn in hell! Demon Fang! Try this!
Regenerate!
Explosive Ring!
Let us take to the fray!
Demon Fang!
Challenge storm! Let us take
That'll
to the
bring you
fray!
down.
All good things come
Demon
to an
Fang!
end. Eagle Fly!
Demon Fang! Try harder! Demon Fang!
You require Take this!
Demon Fang!
I won't give in!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
These fists have got your name on them!
Annihilation!
Inspiration! I've let you all down.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished
I can
soul
handle
with
it.
resuscitation!
Not on my watch!
Far enough!
Glacial
Not done
Spear!
yet.
Pierce the evil!
Demon Fang!
Freeze Lancer!
Elusive deity!
Demon Fang!
From depths abyss!
Rising Wyvern!
Here!
Demon Fang!
First aid! Radiant
Demon
Here!
Fang!
This one's mine! I'm all stopped up!
I'll
That'll
stop
bring
its
you down.
charge.
Thanks, Kisara!
Demon Fang!
Challenge storm!
Ignite!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I've used a bit too much healing.
You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang!
Resonate with the take this!
Rising Wyvern!
Can't get out of this!
Here's a
Rimmer!
astral energy!
Say no more.
Here, let me help. Radiant light! I'm almost
Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Demon Fang!
Now armor won't save you!
That'll bring you down!
Elusive
I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Burn!
Eagle assault!
Demon Fang!
I'm ready to go one down!
Demon Fang!
By the power of not on my watch!
Eat this! Far enough! Come and get it!
Demon Fang!
There! Dragon Shell!
The earth throbs in pain. Eat this!
Demon
You
Fang!
take it?
Demon Fang!
Take this! I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
You picked the wrong fight!
Watch it!
I won't show you any mercy!
These sticks got your name on them!
Demon Fang!
I'm on it. Anything in armor is all mine! Armor won't save you!
Radiant here!
Demon Fang!
You're mine! I'll face you!
Ready to go!
I owe you one.
There you are!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Not in your dreams!
The enemy is ours too!
We'll quick see about that!
Fire support!
Demon Fang!
In a bind, do it!
Dohalim! In an instant!
Impact rock! Benediction light.
Take it!
Demon Fang! This one's all mine!
Fire in the hole!
Ignite!
Mission!
Demon Fang!
I'm on it! I'll run you through! I'll face you!
Do it! Descubra! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
There's always room for improvement.
It's on!
Demon Fang!
That'll bring you down!
Talon Storm!
Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern!
Here goes!
Glimmer
Elusive
Dragon!
Demon Fang!
Not on my watch!
Ready and ready! Mine! Soaring Blast!
Explosive Ring!
Now you see what I can watch this!
Demon Fang!
I'll face you! Take this!
Demon Fang!
Soaring Blast! No further!
Demon Fang!
Hollow Dance!
You picked the wrong fight!
Do it!
Rising Dohalim! In an instant!
Impact Rock!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Denied! First strike!
Demon Fang!
You think that steel will save you?
Demon Fang!
Whirlwind Snap!
Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Demon Fang!
Anything in order!
Demon Fang! My deal?
Back into the fray!
Talon Hurricane! Eagle Fly!
You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang! Is this it?
Don't leave me! I never miss!
There!
see what happened there as you crossed. I shouldn't have done in a bind.
Demon Fang! Rising Wiper!
I can handle it.
Denied! Everlasting only one. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Searing Flame! Rising Wipers! Demon Fang!
Resonate with the earth! I'm ready! I'll smash you!
Demon Fang!
Radiant light!
We did it!
Force of regeneration! Regenerate!
Demon Fang!
Here's evil!
Demon
Freeze
Fang!
Lancer! Ready! Not on my watch!
Crescent flash! Reflect on thy skin! They smite with you require help!
Eruption! Gemini Aqua!
Eat execution!
Mega
Demon
Ray!
Fang! Demon Fang!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky! Get lost!
Resonate with the earth! I'll run you through! Can't get out of this!
Demon Fang!
Primed and ready! That'll
I'll
bring
punch
you
that
down!
gun out of your hand!
Try this!
Radiant light!
Force of regeneration!
Fire support! Regenerate! I'll smash you! I'm on a roll now!
Demon Fang!
Do it!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. That
person Alphen was speaking to, she looked...
It was Naori. Naori Imaris.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was...
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly?
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your...
But how is that even possible? Unless...
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dan and astral and...
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was...
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy will be... For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it...
We have no way of knowing.
Shion.
Yeah. It was all just... So that was my ancestor, huh?
Yeah, there certainly is a
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's reliving painful episodes from your past.
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides...
Alphen.
That's not all. I'd like to liberate...
Whether you're on... Not that I'm...
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zugos like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Dougal, then we get some answers. You can aim for the weak side. Demon Fang! Try hit! Explosive ray! Demon Fang!
Take this!
No further! Glimmer Dragon! I'm on a roll now!
Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Try harder! Stay away from my friend! Demon Fang!
I could do this all day!
Try harder! Demon Fang!
I'm on!
Resuscitation! Here.
Demon Fang!
The wicked.
Inspiration! I could do this all day!
Demon Fang!
I never miss! I can handle it!
Soaring blast! Demon Fang! Try hit!
What's this?
Explosive ring!
Talon Hurricane!
Demon Fang!
Eagle Blast!
Flame of Fury!
Heal!
Demon Fang!
Here's the evil!
I'm on a roll
Take
now!
this!
Freeze Lancer!
Demon Fang!
Talon Hurricane! Eagle Blast!
Demon Fang!
You shouldn't have messed with me! I'll smash you!
Demon
Art Seal!
I'll finish you here and now! Eagle
Healing
Attack!
Circle!
I'll crush
pull
you!
myself together.
Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Talon sword!
Demon Fang!
I'll face you! You're not! Talon hurricane!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Here's the evil!
Demon Fang! Try hit!
Dragon shield!
Explosive ring!
Deity! Eagle assault!
No further!
Demon Fang!
Hurricane!
Demon Fang!
Pieces! Attack time!
I'm all stuffed up!
Rupture!
Try this!
Not my finest!
Now!
Make it in
Really?
time.
Take it down! Ready to go!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Cross! Demon Fang!
Imbue this vanquished soul with life. Resuscitation.
Explosive ring!
Here!
No paper!
Demon Fang!
Healing art!
He's gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Try harder!
Here go! I'm out of ammo!
In a bind?
Need to pull myself up.
I've let you all down. Forgive me.
You picked the wrong fight!
Not now. Not now.
Resuscitation!
Healing circle!
Demon Fang!
No paper! Eat this!
Demon Fang!
Down on the way!
Lunar corruption!
Demon Fang!
Blackened blade! I'll finish you here and now!
Lightning!
Evil assault! Execution!
Glacial
Demon
spear!
Fang!
Here's the evil!
First strike!
Freeze Lancer! I'm
Demon
ready!
Fang!
Eagle on a roll
This
now!
one's mine!
That frickin' does it! Armor won't save you!
You require
Demon Fang!
Inspiration! Not my finest!
You pay for that!
no further.
Demon
I'll
Fang!
bring you back
Sorry,
from this
Cuppa.
abyss. You do the same for me.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Demon Fang! Try this!
Gemini
No
Alpha!
paper!
Explosive ring!
Talon Hurricane!
Demon Fang!
I'm out of ammo!
Now in the group!
Shine! Radiant light!
Regeneration!
Demon Fang!
There you are!
Try this! Explosive ring!
Almost there!
Oh, close enough. Take it away, Law.
I've got you in a bind! Shattering of pieces! Attack time! Healing now you see what I can do! Russia!
I'm in your debt.
Roll with the freaking doesn't! Demon Fang! Bloody hollow away! Explosive ring! I'd let you all down. Demon Fang! Try this!
No more playing nice! I'll bring you back from dead to
Explosive ring!
I can handle it! Denied! That move!
Not today! Here comes the big one! Soaring blast!
Where are you going?
Shine! Radiant Demon Fang! Force of regeneration!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Back into the fray!
In a bind! Eat this!
Searing flame!
Demon
Reload!
Fang!
I won't give up!
Radiant light!
Stay away from my friend!
Regenerate! Now!
I owe you coin!
I'll tear you apart! Demon Fang! Talon Hurricane!
Arch Seal!
Demon Lash!
Demon Fang!
Eat this!
Demon Fang! Try this!
Catapult!
Wide open!
It won't escape me! Armor won't save you!
Demon Fang!
Elusive deity!
Not on my watch!
Come and get it! I've used too much!
Explosive ring!
I can do this all
Leave the
day!
charges
I'm
to
ready!
me.
Lock! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only
Not her.
Shion.
I can try.
We're not even supposed to be.
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
Avakir.
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really...
And you believed me?
I like to think I know you a little better than that. I'll take Faria. Leave her with... I know better than to ask...
Thank you.
He seemed...
He hasn't changed. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me.
You don't see...
Somebody got to her. Just... And the same goes for...
You're wrong. As for Tarnigan, but that's why we're fighting.
Indeed.
You can't... I know it. Forgive...
So I just...
No, not for those...
For those... Kisar...
That's what living... Punishing your...
Only fixing...
That's right.
Don't forget.
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her. Her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling.
But the will of Dana is made... I don't know, should we really be getting some...
Dana's will wouldn't...
But you can't say that for...
Cut it out, you two.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's...
Shion's right, and I think...
I'm sorry.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind... I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little time. Soon, I have to be ready to face any... I'm determined to... Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. Curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
We should go through that room some more before we move on.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new... Well?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. A composite, the creation of a governing code name,
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of... That must be the master. With all this raw data...
About the lords.
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clear, not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made
What about the Sovereign?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here.
What is it?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subject. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. Test subject number 1273. Ethnic Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right?
Alphen.
It's fine, really.
Test subject number 10105. Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are...
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this...
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena when a new sovereign is decided. The outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had... It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have...
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for...
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was a... Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she could be working for someone else. Someone...
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other...
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment. There's nothing here about who's behind all this. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen.
She sure went above and beyond the call of...
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she's...
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time.
Yeah. If it weren't for...
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honor...
She kept her... If the Renan people, she... Naori was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your... soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, the spirit chat. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you...
The Renis Alma isn't here now, nor is the Red Woman.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the...
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then...
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of the Sovereign. They linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power. Lest that day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give...
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to see it, but it was too late.
Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives, with the destructive force now slumbering inside of me. I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. And especially since that power was astral, in which case, ironically enough, the Renaissance, that at least would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third, with the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside. That's what I hoped, but the Renaissance was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. The time needed for a new Renaissance to be crafted. And for a new soul. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only—
Wait, you can't just—
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or...
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries.
So you're saying this is the main—
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against—
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here...
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy.
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent— By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your Shion.
It's possible? You really—
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance.
I know it's just here.
No, it isn't!
Rinwell's right.
Thank you.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis—
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search
Yeah!
I too shall lend my services.
And they say mod—
How do you— Now let's get moving, shall we? So Naori, she stopped, but then, I'm so—
You're wrong. What happened? You paid ahead. The reason you—
Is the reason.
The thorns.
It all leads back to—
When my I never did know. The truth about a light, the touch of holding hands with Rinwell. Or giving Law a deserved smack. Embracing everyone. All the normal things. I always— Is it real? I'm so— What if it—
That's not— I'm here to make sure. Forget We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot—
Yeah, it's such— I know, and it's—
You're worth—
I believe you.
Good. I'll keep on until our